Right now, reaction is pouring in from local and foreign government officials as President Trump becomes the third U.S. president in history to be impeached.
And state employees will be getting a raise, but state troopers won't be included in that pay bump. We'll tell you why straight ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Playing a little baseball this morning, a little pay bunt. Good morning, by the way.
I went right to bunt cake.
Yeah, you did. I'm thinking sports.
You have the right idea.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. It is Thursday, December 19th. I'm Leah Lynchide.
And I'm Josh Freider. Meteorologist Hattie McClain is here now with a nice warm-up.
It is starting to warm up. I'll tell you, though, it's still pretty chilly outside this morning, but we do have nicer weather on the way for this afternoon. Wind chills are still in the single digits in many locations early today, so you still have to bundle up early on. We'll see a nice improvement in that wind chill, though, through the afternoon, with wind chills actually above the freezing point. Winds will diminish quite a bit later today, so wind chill's not going to be a factor. Here's a look at your traffic report this morning. We're looking at pretty quiet conditions on area roads, no major delays right now. No accidents to report either across southern Wisconsin. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we're going to talk about that extended forecast that does have quite a few days in the 40s, along with a significant stretch of dry weather. Our next chance for precipitation comes Christmas Day later on in the day. So hopefully Santa has some windshield wipers on the sleigh.
Yeah, that and hopefully some wheels underneath that sleigh as well.
Right. Not going to work on the bare ground here.
No, sparks are going to be flying. All right, Hattie, thank you.
To our top headline, we start with breaking news just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center in the last few minutes. One of President Trump's biggest allies in Congress will be stepping away after yesterday's impeachment vote.
Congressman Mark Meadows of North Carolina says he won't run for re-election in 2020. It comes just hours after President Trump became only the third president in the country's history to be impeached. The House voted along party lines to approve two articles against the president: abuse of power and obstruction of Congress relating to his conduct in dealing with Ukraine. President Trump now holds the record for most votes ever acquired on an article of impeachment at 203 for Article 1. Two Democrats broke with their party and voted against that article, and one Republican voted in favor of it.
Now, Wisconsin's 4 Republican representatives all voted against impeachment, while the state's 3 Democrats voted in favor. Here's what Democratic Representative Mark Pocan had to say.
If there were witnesses that could say the president's innocent, he didn't allow anyone to come and testify. That doesn't pass the Wisconsin smell test. That's not what innocent people do. He should be giving them a ride to come and present their cases, and that didn't happen. So I think, the real difference is no one is actually saying the president's innocent here. They just want to talk about everything else around it.
Republican Representative Brian Stile tweeted his reaction, saying in part, "I voted against impeaching President Trump from the start. I've been opposed to impeachment. The House should get to work on issues impacting Americans, tackling the rising costs of health care, securing our border, and addressing our national debt."
While history is being made in our nation's capital, not everyone is enthralled with the proceedings. Regardless of age, race, or political affiliation, many of the folks we talk to say they just want this to be over.
All of this is adults acting like children, lying and not being willing to admit things that are not true.
Frustrated, I think, with one side more than the other.
Glad to see it happening. I understand it's divisive and it's problematic, but I'm glad to see it happening. And I'm very concerned about legislators who are, in advance of the hearing, already saying, well, my mind's already made up. I don't care what the evidence shows.
We don't talk about it. We don't watch the news.
Our Wisconsinites all bundled up there. A reminder, of course, that's only a portion of the people represented here in our state.
While impeachment has been largely the focus for many politicians recently, Democratic candidates are also looking ahead to 2020. Another debate is set for tonight at Loyola Marymount University, but the stage will be less crowded than it has been in the past. Only 7 out of the 15 candidates qualify for tonight's debate because of stricter polling and donor requirements. You can watch Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, Tom Steyer, and Andrew Yang take the stage tonight at 7 on Wisconsin Public Television. A conservative law firm has until Monday to respond to a request from the Department of Justice to put a hold on the deactivation of 200,000 voter registrations. An appeals court set that deadline after the DOJ requested the judge make the hold immediate without hearing the conservative firm's side.
An update now. Governor Evers says Wisconsin will continue to welcome refugees. He submitted a letter to the U.S. State Department saying Wisconsin has a rich history of welcoming people of all backgrounds and that settlers bring with them, quote, valuable skills and experience that benefit all of us. That letter is a response to an executive order by President Trump requiring states to provide written consent for refugee resettlement. Governor Evers says he was disappointed that the administration was creating roadblocks.
State and UW employees will see a 2% raise starting after the new year, but Wisconsin state troopers won't get theirs. This was expected for the committee in charge of those raises not to include the State Patrol. Still, there were a few people who testified asking for the committee to include this raise anyway. Senator Jen Schilling from La Crosse says awarding this increase is how you support law enforcement. We also spoke with the president of the law enforcement union, and he said without the money, they have a hard time recruiting good officers who want to stick with the state agency.
By having lower compensation, it makes it that much harder for us to find qualified individuals that you as the citizens want out there doing the job as a law enforcement officer.
Assembly Speaker Robin Vos, who also co-chairs this committee, says the rate the State Patrol wanted at about 23% was too high. He said if they come back with something in the high single digits, he would hear it in January.
All right, 6:06 on your Thursday. Apple and Google have a ton of holiday-themed apps where kids can video chat with Santa, light the menorah, even watch a live feed of reindeer.
But like any app, parents need to make sure these holiday apps are safe to use. Jamie Perez is here now to tell us what parents should be looking out for before getting those kids a hold of them. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, good morning, guys. Yeah, there's always some safety feature you got to look out for with these apps, right? Well, there's actually a law that gives parents more control over who collects information from and about your kids and make sure that parents can consent to personal information collected from kids under the age of 13. The Better Business Bureau advises parents to do several things before letting your child download an app. Read the privacy policy so that you can see who's collecting information and how that information is being used. If an app does not have a privacy policy, that's probably a red flag. Also learn what information is being collected. You could be consenting for the app to use pictures, voice recordings, or even video of your kids. You can also set permission requirements so that you have to enter a password before any app is downloaded. And last but not least, be wary of free apps. You know, a lot of them have some inappropriate advertising, and some might even trick kids into clicking on things that you don't really want them to click on. So even though those holiday apps might seem cute and a good way to entertain your kids, some of those apps are definitely on the naughty list, so parents better check twice this holiday season.
And I think it's hard because there's new and new things every day when it comes to phones and apps, and trying to keep up with them with anybody is hard, but those kids, they get a hold of them.
It's just better safe than sorry just to go through those precautionary measures with every single one.
For sure. All right, Jamie Perez, thank you.
Good to see you. Still ahead on News 3 Now this morning, whether you're decking the halls or headed to the malls, the holidays can be a stressful time of year. So coming up after the break, we are sharing some tips for how to deal with all that stress.
But first, in the midst of a weekend winter warm-up here in southern Wisconsin, Hattie's predicting temperatures heading into the 40s as we look ahead to Christmas. Your first alert forecast is coming up next on News 3 Now this morning.
This
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. It is warmer this morning, but still feeling a little chilly with that southwest wind early today. We're talking wind chills in the single digits. We don't have any snow on the ground, though. That's no secret. Take a look at the snow depth across the area. Looking at that snow to our south, with a south wind today, the air rolling over that colder snowpack isn't going to warm up as much as it could if the ground was bare to our south. So temperatures will be warmer, but not as warm as they could be. Now that snow will likely melt over the next couple of days, and that will allow our temperatures here in southern Wisconsin to climb even more. There's plenty of snow on the ground in the Northwoods, though. It's going to take a while for that snowpack to melt. It's no secret we've had a lack of snow here in the month of December in southern Wisconsin, and in Madison, it's been officially just a half an inch of snow for the month of December at the airport. That puts us on the top 10 list for least snowiest Decembers ever here in Madison, and records go back to the 1860s, so it's a long time and quite a lack of snow for us here this month. There isn't a lot of snow in the upcoming forecast either, so we may close out the month of December 2019 staying on that list. Our future tracks snow potential through Christmas Day, about 7 or 7:30 p.m. shows you virtually no snow accumulation across the Badger State. You have to go way to the north to see any chances for snow in between now and Christmas. Now, here's a look at where we start this morning. Skies are clear, and unlike yesterday, I'm not really watching a large bank of clouds move across Minnesota, so I think we're actually going to keep a lot of sunshine through the day today. Our current conditions, it's 17, so definitely warmer than it was yesterday at this time, but wind chills are still down in the single digits with that southerly wind, so it still feels pretty cold outside this morning. Temperatures, though, are in the teens in all locations for our viewing area. Wind is a factor, as it is here in Madison. Across the rest of the region, those south winds generating wind chills in the single digits. Luckily, though, as we go through the afternoon, the winds will diminish, so our wind chills will get back close to the actual air temperature. Our future track forecast model shows just a few high-level clouds moving through the area. Otherwise, by lunchtime, mostly sunny with temperatures right around 30 degrees. Our temperatures will top in the mid-30s today. By 5 o'clock, still holding in the 30s in most locations as you head home from work. A pretty quiet night expected tonight, although there will be some more clouds working their way into the area. That'll set us up for mostly cloudy skies tomorrow, high of 40 degrees. We stay in the 40s, though, right through the Christmas holiday with very quiet weather expected. Our next chance for precipitation holding off until later on Wednesday. Now let's get a look at those first alert traffic maps this morning. We'll send it over to Stacy Kay for all the details. Good morning, Stacy.
Good morning. We're starting off with no problems on the Beltline. Nothing to slow you down just yet in either direction. Checking out other roads in Dane County, starting to pick up on inbound John Nolan as you head into downtown, and a few brake lights on Stoughton as you approach the Beltline. No delays downtown around campus. Volume won't be an issue for another hour. And other main routes heading into Madison moving along with no crashes or delays. With your first alert traffic, I'm Stacy Kay.
Thank you, Stacy, and thank you, Hattie. 6:14 now, less than 1 week away from Christmas, and if hearing that stresses you out, you're not alone.
I know, I'm stressed. Here to talk more about how to deal with all of that stress that comes with preparing for the holidays is our Dr. Mare from SSM Health. As always, good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Now, will you admit what is stressing you out most this holiday season?
Ooh.
Or can you not say it?
I think it's just everything. I think it's like you have that list of everything you need to get done. Like I'll be heading back to Minnesota tomorrow for a few days, so it's like trying to make sure I have everything ready to go and the car loaded up.
Yeah. So like you said, this is a really stressful time for people. And, you know, we talked about a couple different things earlier in the season, like seasonal affective disorder. So we're having less sunlight, extra demands financially, extra demands from work probably, all these things together, and then having this kind of rat race type of feeling that we have to get everything done and everything has to be perfect really is a lot for people, especially if you are prone to any anxiety or depressions. So we have some really helpful tips for people. First of all, this holiday season, figuring out what's really important for you. That's going to be your best roadmap, helping you navigate moving forward. Is it your faith? Is it family? Is it traditions that you keep at work? I mean, whatever those really important things are to you, making those things priority and not really sidetracking from them. You know, my cheesy saying for this season is, don't let the presents not let you be present. So what I mean by that is, I mean, it's pretty intuitive. Just really being present in whatever that's super important to you. The second thing is planning ahead. You know, this is like a marathon. I feel like between Thanksgiving and New Year's, it's just like rush, rush, rush. How do we get it all done? I've never run a marathon, but I've supported a number of friends and family, and they're always telling me about how they've planned out their stops. You know, hey, we've planned out our pit stops, when we're going to refresh, when we're going to refuel. So do that. Next time you're heading out, or if you're heading out with the kids in the car, planning those pit stops, having things for the kids to do, having some time for you to chill out and relax. If you have a significant other or family that can help, sharing some of that responsibility can really take stuff off your plate and give you a time to really de-stress during the holiday season. Finally, we want to remind people not to ignore your own needs, whether that's sleep, going to the doctor, taking care of your health, keeping your appointment with your therapist. A lot of people say, well, Dr. Mara's just so busy, I'm just trying to survive. Surviving is good, but we want you to do a little bit better, because the way to really maximize your holiday season is taking care of yourself so you can really help everyone else around you. Finally, a lot of the gurus say, don't feel empty this season. And emptiness means, I mean, literally your wallet can be empty, your gas tank is empty, maybe you haven't done those self-care things that, you know, because you've just been giving so much, whether it's to friends, family members, coworkers. So don't fall in that emptiness this season. Really make sure that you're refueled, you're reloaded, and you're ready to go so you can really maximize the holiday season.
Some really good advice there. Dr. Mara, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
All right, coming up next, grandmother thought she was helping out her grandchild, but now she's out $10,000. We'll have the details on that scam coming up next on News 3 Now this morning.
And things are warming up outside, but you're going to want to stick with the coat today. Hattie's bus stop forecast is coming up. Stay with us.
It's no
Wow, look at that. Welcome back, 621. A little Aurora Borealis here for your Thursday morning. This footage is from Finland, where tourists there were treated to about 9 hours of the northern lights.
That is incredible. These lights appear as a result of collisions between electrically charged particles from the sun with particles in the Earth's atmosphere. Stunning.
It's so cool, like the reflection with the snow on the ground, too. I think it makes it that much more apparent.
Ooh, can we plan a road trip?
Let's
Have
go.
you either seen
we
that?
can't drive there. What am I saying?
Have either of you seen the Northern Lights, though?
Once, but they were not that bright. I saw them in northern Wisconsin. They were much more faint.
That's some of the best video I've ever seen.
Right.
Yeah, that's impressive. So
no Northern
cool.
Lights here, though.
No snow to reflect off
Yeah.
either. We have green grass, I guess, if you want green. Not much else, though, happening here across southern Wisconsin. It is a chilly start to the day. Take it from me, I've been outside. That wind chill is a factor this morning. It's in the single digits this morning. Feels like 6 here in Madison, 3 in Monroe, 9 in the Dells. So even though we're expecting a warmer day, don't let the kids leave the house without a jacket today. Wind chills will improve, though, through the afternoon as winds diminish. Our wind chills get back to around the freezing point, so that's good news. Your bus stop weather forecast has sunshine through the day today. I think we're going to keep it all day today. Highs will be in the low to mid 30s this afternoon.
All right, thank you very much, Hattie. A scammer preying on a grandmother's love for her grandson is $10,000 richer this morning.
But what the thief might not have known was that it was all caught on camera carrying out the crime. This may not look alarming at first glance, but this man is a scammer walking away with all that money. The woman who handed it over is Barbara McCullough of Glendale, California. She says she got a call from who she thought was her grandson, who's a student at UC Berkeley. But she said it didn't sound like him. When she asked about his voice, the man started crying and said he had a cold.
I felt flattered that he even called me. Well, he called me. He didn't want to upset his parents. That's what I thought.
The man claiming to be her grandson then passed the phone to another man claiming to be a lawyer. He told Barbara that her grandson hit a prominent politician with his car, was arrested, and needed the $10,000 in bail money. Now, since learning her grandson never called her, she's hoping someone recognizes him.
That is horrible.
Ugh.
Oh my goodness. Okay, over in Berkeley, near Barbara's grandson, a food delivery driver is accused of getting some takeout of her own. A DoorDash driver was caught on camera dropping off food for a resident, then taking home some packages on the front door for herself. A closer look at the video shows she doesn't steal the packages right away. She hangs out for a little bit after dropping off the food, almost like she's checking to make sure no one's watching before she takes almost everything with her. Police are hoping someone will recognize her and give them a call. Meanwhile, DoorDash released a statement saying the driver is no longer employed by the company.
Good news for Amazon shoppers this morning. The company is expanding its free return program as the gift season wraps up. The company is letting shoppers return millions of items sold and fulfilled by Amazon for free, including electronics, kitchen appliances, and household items weighing less than 50 pounds. It applies to purchases made between November 1st and December 31st, and will accept those through January 31st. Usually, Amazon only allows returns within 30 days of purchase.
All right, the final chapter in the Star Wars series hits select theaters today. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is the long-anticipated conclusion of the Skywalker saga, which has spanned 4 decades and over 9 episodes. The film is receiving mixed reviews from critics, debuting on Rotten Tomatoes with a score of 59%. Tomorrow on News 3 Now this morning, our film critic Will Loper will have a first look at the series' epic conclusion. And if you're looking to be one of the first to see it, here are just a couple of the theaters showing the movie. You can head over to the new Vision Theater in Fitchburg, AMC Madison, Portage Theater, Wildwood Theater in Janesville, and Bonham Theater in Prairie du Sac.
Some dedicated fans are already in theaters this morning.
I cannot wait to see all 9 of these movies straight.
This is the little thing I can do to celebrate it, is sit in the movie theater for 27 straight hours. It's about the passion, and I have passion for Star Wars, and I have since I was 4 years old.
Select theaters across the country are hosting a 27-hour marathon to watch all 9 films in the Star Wars saga. Fans will watch all films nonstop up to the release of Rise of Skywalker tonight. And don't worry, hygiene products have been provided.
We're having an internal war in the newsroom over whether we say saga or saga. I think it's Saga.
I say Saga.
It's Wisconsin. You have to have the accent. Hey?
Bring it. Oh, yeah.
I think I might lose this one. Okay, still ahead this morning, we are continuing to bring you the latest reactions to the announcement of President Trump's impeachment.
Also ahead, we're learning more about an upcoming trial in Kenosha where a woman is charged with killing a man she says was using her for sex trafficking. You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Stay with us.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, folks, and thanks for staying with us on your Thursday, December 19th. I'm Leah Lynchide.
And I'm Josh Breiter. We are waiting to see when a possible Senate trial will be after the House of Representatives impeached President Trump.
The House voted mostly along party lines on the 2 articles of impeachment. CBS's Deborah Alfarone has the latest from Capitol Hill.
Article 1 is adopted.
For just the 3rd time in history, the House of Representatives voted to impeach a president for high crimes and misdemeanors.
Article 2 is adopted.
President Trump is charged with abuse of power and obstruction of Congress.
What they can't say is that this president's conduct was ethical.
Democrats have been triggered into impeaching the president.
After weeks of impeachment hearings, more than 200 lawmakers used Wednesday's day-long debate as one more opportunity to lay out their arguments.
I'm voting no because the president has done nothing wrong.
Our foremothers and our forefathers shed their blood to build and defend this democracy.
I refuse to have it undermined.
The final vote came mostly as expected, a small number of Democrats voting no, and Republican-turned-independent Justin Amash voting yes.
And it is our duty to impeach him.
I'm thrilled to be here.
As the votes were happening, President Trump was campaigning in Amash's district in Battle Creek, Michigan.
It doesn't really feel like we're being impeached, do you?
He chastised Democrats over the impeachment.
You are the ones bringing pain and suffering to our republic.
The next step, a trial in the Senate.
When we see what they're doing.
But House Speaker Nancy Pelosi suggested she may temporarily hold off sending the impeachment articles to the Senate, which could delay the trial. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
In Russia this morning, President Putin is holding his annual news conference and commenting on the impeachment. He said the proceedings are, quote, far-fetched and predicted the Senate will reject it.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is expected to speak on the Senate floor this morning.
Around the state this morning, a Milwaukee teenager is facing charges for allegedly killing a man who she says was trafficking her. Crystal Kaiser is charged with shooting, killing, and setting Randall Volar on fire in his Kenosha home last June when she was just 17 years old. In a jailhouse interview with the Washington Post, the Milwaukee teen says she killed Volar because he used her for sex trafficking. Kenosha County's district attorney is arguing the murder was premeditated and says Kaiser bragged about it afterward on social media.
And then during the course of the evening, she texts multiple people talking about how she is planning to do it, that she has Googled and that it's going to create a splatter.
Kaiser's attorney argued the murder falls under affirmative defense, which acquits sex trafficking victims of certain crimes. A judge has since disagreed, saying it only applies to prostitution or child trafficking cases. Kaiser's trial is set to start in March. Until then, she's being held on $1 million bond.
All right, 6:32 right now. Hattie's here with your out-the-door weather and traffic. Hi, Hads.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. Take a live look behind me at our sky camera shot. This is the west side of Madison. Skies are clear right now. It is a cold start to the day, but we'll see lots of sunshine. Take a look at our current wind chills. No negatives on the map for our viewing area, which is good news, but it still feels like it's in the single digits in many locations this morning. So as you head out the door, you still need to bundle up early. Winds will diminish, though, through the day, and high temperatures will climb to just above the freezing point later on this afternoon. Take a look at your first alert traffic maps now. We'll see what's happening on area roads. Pretty quiet still on the Beltline. No major delays. Just a few brake lights showing up at Stoughton Road in the Beltline. Getting a little busier on Park Street as well. Otherwise, your drive times heading into Madison still looking normal for this time of the day. 3 things to know going forward. We start hitting highs in the 40s tomorrow for a significant stretch of dry weather through Christmas Eve. Our next chance for precipitation comes later on Christmas Day, and it will be warm enough that is rain, not snow.
All right, thank you very much, Hattie. 6:33 now. Over the last few weeks, we've been bringing you updates on the Prairie du Sac man who's been asking for Christmas cards as he battles stage 4 cancer.
Jamie Perez has been following his story from the start, and she's here this morning with us with another update. Hi, Jamie.
Hi. All of this has been so overwhelming for Gene, and he's been posting updates every day on the things that he's getting in the mail, plus all of the amazing things that people have been doing for him. Yesterday was probably his biggest in-person turnout yet. The entire Sauk City community got together to do a candlelight walk down his street, and they crowded around his home to sing carols to him. The group was escorted by fire trucks, and here's a little clip from their caroling last night. I can't even imagine all of that happening. They also all walked up and each hand-delivered a Christmas card to him personally. And I'm actually going back to his home this morning to do a follow-up story with him about everything that he's received, plus what all of this has meant to him. And that story is airing tomorrow morning right here on News 3 Now. You guys are going to be the first people to see it. So
it's hard not to get a little emotional seeing that. Were you personally surprised by the outpouring of support?
I was. I didn't think that this many people would show up in person. I knew he was going to get a lot of cards, even though he wasn't expecting to get as many as he has, but I didn't think that this many people would show up to his door, bring him gifts and packages, and it's just gone so much further than just Christmas cards.
It's amazing just what a little gesture, if everyone just does a little something, the difference
Really?
you can make.
Yeah,
Jamie Perez.
All right, Jamie, we are looking forward to that story.
Me too.
Thank you. Coming up in the morning sprint, we're telling you about a drug smuggling operation that has 2 Rock County residents facing charges.
And after the break, we're looking at ways you and your family can enjoy the outdoors, even in the bitter cold of winter. Bundle up, folks, and stay with us here on News 3 Now this morning. All right, how about a little bit of nature for you on this Thursday morning? Take a peek at this. My dad's friend, Roger Knutson, snapped this photo of a fox on top of a hay bale out in Livingston. Isn't that neat?
What does the fox say?
You said this earlier. I don't think they talk. No, I was told by our friend Brandon it chirps.
You've not heard the song?
No, I listen to country.
Oh, you do. All right, well, we'll have to listen to that after the show.
Isn't
Anyways,
this cool,
that is a
though?
beautiful picture.
Foxes are beautiful. Hitting the hay.
Oh, yeah.
Hey? Thanks for sharing that, Roger.
If you've got a photo of your morning you'd like to share, just send it to us over on our Facebook page. All right, as it gets colder outside, you might find that you and your family are spending more and more time indoors.
This morning, we're learning more about why it's so important to spend some time outside and welcome winter. So here to talk about that this morning is Lee Elliott with Nurturing Madison. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good to have you this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about the benefits of spending time outside, even when it's super cold out.
Yeah, I mean, so we all know that physical activity is really important for everyone in our family, and outside is the best place to do that. Also health and wellness, escaping those the viruses that flourish inside, especially in wintertime as we're all spending more time indoors. So getting outside in the fresh air and also soaking up that vitamin D from the sun. And health and wellness, boosting our moods, getting out and getting that fresh air to survive our long, dark Wisconsin winters.
So talk a little bit about this project you guys have going on.
So Wintering in Madison is designed to inspire Dane County families to get outside this winter. We have a great list of family-friendly, fun activities to get outside. My favorites are getting out, exploring the frozen lakes, making snow ice cream, all kinds of fun stuff, and of course encouraging parents to tap into their childhood memories of winter, getting outside, going sledding, ice skating, whatever it is that you really enjoyed as a kid is a great way to inspire your own kids to get outside and also you to get outside with them.
And you're launching this whole event this Saturday, right? Tell us a little bit about that event.
Yep, so Welcoming Winter will take place on Saturday afternoon, 3 to 5 at Hoyt Park. We will have a variety of activities and crafts and fun things along our lantern lit path at the fireplaces all around Hoyt Park.
What a beautiful way to celebrate winter. Lee, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
And it might be the perfect weekend to get outside and get that family out of the house. Hattie's predicting a weekend warm-up in her first alert forecast. Live look at the Capitol. Beautiful start to this Thursday.
Indeed it is. It is Thursday, December 19th. We want to say happy birthday to Alex, Caden, Ryan, and all the kiddos turning 3 today. Get outside and celebrate, folks. And thanks for joining us on News 3 Now this morning.
For a clear
Good morning from the News 3 Now First Alert Weather Center. We now are able to see something from our sky camera shots. Here's from the Edgewater camera looking towards the Capitol. Beautiful sunrise underway here across southern Wisconsin. No clouds or precipitation around our area. And in fact, as you look at the entire midsection of the country, I've zoomed Doppler track out to the entire center of the country. You're not seeing a lot of precipitation around here. We'll look at a wider view across the U.S. and show you what's happening, though. A lot of people traveling this time of the year. Quiet weather along the southern tier of the United States with high pressure in control. Really, all the moisture is locked up in the northwestern part of the country right now. A steady stream of moisture coming out of the Pacific will keep rain in the forecast in areas like Portland and Seattle for the day today. Here in the central part of the country, we have a warm front lifting northward, so things are going to start to warm up for us. On the map right now, no airport delays in any of the major locations except Miami. It is reporting some delays there due to runway traffic. This isn't weather related right now, but there are some delays starting to form and they are expected to grow there. Otherwise, across the country, if you're looking at traveling today, you're going to see a lot of sun on that U.S. map today. All the way from Salt Lake City and Phoenix over to the East Coast, we're looking at pretty quiet weather condition. Again, that chance for rain, maybe even mixed with some snow in Portland with high temperatures in the middle 30s. Here's a look at your forecasted travel delays through the day today and even into tomorrow. It'll be the northwest section of the country. The rest of the country looking pretty good at all those airports, even as we head into Friday. No major delays around here or on the East Coast. It will be the northwest where there could be potential delays. Our current conditions right now, 17 degrees here in Madison. We have mostly clear skies. Wind chill, though, is 6, so it does feel pretty chilly this morning. Keep that in mind. Temperatures have already hit their nighttime lows, and we're already climbing. We're in the teens across southern Wisconsin. Wind chills, though, in many locations, with the exception of the Wisconsin River Valley, are in the single digits this morning. So bundle up as you head out the door. Future track wind speeds around 10 miles an hour this morning. Good news, those winds will be diminishing as we head through the afternoon, so wind chill is not likely to be a factor later on today. In fact, your wind chill forecast steadily climbs through the day back into the low to mid 30s, pretty close to the actual air temperature this afternoon. Your future track forecast model, outside of some high-level cirrus clouds, we have quiet weather today. By lunchtime, if you're running errands, temperatures will be in the low 30s. We head to highs in the mid 30s and will likely still be in the 30s at 5 o'clock when you head home from work this evening. Temperatures will drop back into the 20s overnight. Look for more cloud cover tomorrow, but warmer temperatures. We start a nice long stretch with highs in the 40s all the way through Christmas Day. And that's our next chance for precipitation as well. It will be warm enough for rain. Here's a look at our pet walk forecast. This one obviously taken in warmer months, but man, go for it, 7. Having a good time jumping off that rock.
What a jump.
That is quite a jump.
That's an athlete.
Jumping towards the weekend right there.
You and me both.
Why not?
Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. The morning sprint is straight ahead.
Get on.
6:51, time for the morning sprint as we give you everything you need to know before heading out the door.
That includes a warm-up headed into the weekend. Let's start with meteorologist Hattie McLean. Hi, Hattie.
Good morning. That's right. Temperatures are going to be warming up. Live look outside this morning. Skies are clear. It's a chilly start to the day with wind chills in the single digits still across southern Wisconsin. But take a look at your temperature trend through the day. Winds will diminish this afternoon, very light from the southwest. High temperatures will actually be above the freezing point later today.
Thank you, Hattie. We are waiting on a date for a Senate trial following the House's impeachment of President Trump. The president is now the third in the country's history to be impeached. The House voted along party lines to approve 2 articles against the president relating to his conduct in dealing with Ukraine. 2 Democrats broke with their party and voted against the article. 1 Republican turned independent voted in favor.
In Russia this morning, President Putin is holding his annual news conference and commenting on the impeachment. He said the proceedings are, quote, far-fetched and predicted the Senate will reject it.
Includes almost $600 billion.
That right there is Congressman Mark Pocan. He's responding to the impeachment this morning. Wisconsin's 4 Republican representatives all voted against impeachment, while the state's 3 Democrats voted in favor.
Republican Representative Brian Stile tweeted his reaction, saying in part, "I voted against impeaching President Trump. From the start, I've been opposed to impeachment. The House should get to work on issues impacting Americans, tackling the rising costs of health care, securing our border, and addressing our national debt."
Democratic candidates for president are preparing for the final debate of the year this morning. It's set for tonight at Loyola Marymount University. Only 7 out of the 15 candidates qualified for the event because of stricter polling and donor requirements. It airs tonight at 7 over on Wisconsin Public Television.
A conservative law firm has until Monday to respond to a request from the Department of Justice to put a hold on the deactivation of 200,000 voter registrations. An appeals court set that deadline after the DOJ requested the judge make the hold immediate without hearing the conservative firm's side.
Governor Evers says Wisconsin will continue to welcome refugees. He submitted a letter to the U.S. State Department saying Wisconsin has a rich history of welcoming people of all backgrounds. The letter is a response to an executive order by President Trump requiring states to provide written consent for refugee resettlement. The governor says he was disappointed that the administration created a roadblock.
State and UW employees will see a 2% raise starting after the new year, but Wisconsin state troopers won't get theirs. This was expected for the committee in charge of those raises not to include the State Patrol. Assembly Speaker Robin Voss says the rate the State Patrol wanted at about 23% was too high. He said if they come back with something in the high single digits, he would hear it in January.
A new date is set for a Rock County murder case that ended in a mistrial. 23-year-old Julian Colasso is expected to go on trial again on June 20th. Colasso is facing a first-degree intentional homicide charge. He's accused of stabbing and killing 43-year-old Christine Sakia Lubeck and then fleeing to Missouri.
A teenager is facing charges for allegedly killing a man who she says was trafficking her. Crystal Kaiser is charged with the murder of Randall Volar. Kenosha County District Attorney is arguing the murder was premeditated. However, Kaiser's attorney argued the murder falls under affirmative defense, which acquits sex trafficking victims of certain crimes. But a judge disagreed, saying it only applies to prostitution or child trafficking cases.
2 Rock County residents are facing new charges after using dogs to sneak drugs into the county jail. The inmate took care of the dog as a part of a rehab program. They say he used it as an excuse to get outside. From there, he picked up a dozen pills that someone else had dropped off, then snuck them back into the jail. The 2 people involved in the drop-off are both facing charges.
While letting your kids use an app is a good way to keep them entertained this Christmas, the Better Business Bureau is cautioning parents to question if the holiday app is as safe as you think. The Better Business Bureau advises parents to do several things before letting your child download a holiday app. Read the privacy policy so you can see who's collecting the information and how that information is being used. If an app doesn't have a privacy policy, that's probably a red flag. Also, learn what information is being collected. You could be consenting for the app to use pictures, voice recordings, or video of your kids. You can also set permission requirements. And last but not least, be wary of free apps. A lot of them have some inappropriate advertising, and some even trick kids into clicking on things you don't want them to.
Jamie, thank you. Good news for Amazon shoppers. The company is expanding its free return program as the gift-giving season wraps up. The company is letting shoppers return millions of items sold and fulfilled by Amazon for free. It applies to purchases made between November 1st and December 31st and will accept those through January 31st. Usually, Amazon only allows returns within 30 days of purchase.
All right, 6:56. Let's turn it over to Stacey K with a look at your first alert traffic. Hey, Stacey.
Hey, thanks. Good morning. The westbound Beltline is starting to get busier now with brake lights between Stoughton and West Broadway. Inbound John Nolan picking up near Rimrock and Olin as you make your way downtown. And other main routes heading into Madison moving along with no crashes or delays. With your first alert traffic, I'm Stacey K.
Stacey, here's a look at some of those drive times as you head into Madison this morning. Don't forget the sunglasses. Sun comes up just before 7:30 this morning. Skies are clear though, so you're going to need those sunglasses today. Your day planner temperatures take you through the 20s into the 30s, much warmer than it was yesterday. Wind chill though is still a factor this morning, so you'll want to bundle up. Warmer temperatures are in store for the end of the week and the upcoming weekend. Right through the Christmas holiday, we have high temperatures in the 40s. Lots of quiet weather as well leading up to Christmas.
Thank you very much, Addie.
And thank you for joining us. Make it a great day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Wave.